After brotherly talk and spending time with BI, SUGA was on a round around the castle. Suddenly he noticed a figure looking closely at it. SUGA. Sana, what is she doing? She was dragging a human who was unconscious, poor him. SUGA became furious. Sana didn't notice him taking the opportunity. He replaced the unconscious human with himself. Reaching the corner of the hallway, Sana pinned the unconscious man on the wall, and allowing her demonic side to conquer her, her eyes shining golden. Coming closer to him to eat him alive. Suddenly a hand grabbed her throat, choking her harshly. Minatazaki Sana, leave me, bastard, or else I'll kill you. Smirking, the unconscious man opened his eyes and said, SUGA. Well, surprise, surprise, dear baby sis. Smirking, Sana widened her eyes. Minatazaki Sana. Oh papi, please forgive me, Sana said, pleading, thinking that would work up on him, but he was a man of his words. He would never forgive anyone who would make a possibility for someone to question his father's upbringing, never. SUGA, you should have thought before doing this. After saying this, moving his fingers in circle, he opened a portal leading to the torture where everyone was afraid of. SUGA, you will suffer. I will not leave anyone who is this much proudy of his powers. You will stay there for 2 days, it is clear. He threw her into the portal, closing it behind him, and left for his room to rest. You and BI are roaming in the garden talking regarding how you met and how you are now friends. It's been 2 months since we are friends now. True. We became good friends in such a short time. You are my first friend here. I am not used to make friends. My older brother, SUGA Hyung, is my only best friend and the person with who I can speak related to my problems and taking suggestions. He's been my best buddy since childhood. Even though he had millions of responsibilities. He never denied to play with me, to help me in my homework, in each and everything. He is the ideal brother everyone wished they had. I'm lucky to have a supportive brother like him. I's eyes shined with happiness mentioning love for his brother, but in his excitement he didn't notice the love N holds in her eyes for SUGA. He was becoming blind in her love. He didn't knew what was coming. He wasn't supposed to fall for her. Anything to have her love, but N she was here for her mission, yet she fell in love. Precisely with a demon. She is a fairy and her marriage is just around the corner. Was she missing something? Isn't it wrong? Smiling, N said. N. Actually, I came here to find a job, not for friendship, but I'm glad I found a friend like you, so good to be honest. I smiles warmly at her, adoring her smile, admiring her words. While roaming around in the garden, both were talking about random stuff, when on the spur of the moment your movements halt and he slightly gasped in astonishment. Deeply feeling the joyful feeling running through your body, smiling fondly, that pretty smile which was killing the person beside you as he was just staring at you deeply. Lost in the imagination of his own. You swiftly move towards the plant where the most beautiful flowers, the blessing of the Almighty, the gift of nature, your most fave flowers in the whole universe. Black and white roses, since your childhood you just loved these. N. You didn't tell me that you also have these lovely flowers in your garden. N's eyes sparkled. Actually, these flowers are Hyung's favorite. He never let anyone come to this area of the garden. He himself take care of them. He also loves these flowers. N smiles, lovingly caressing these flowers while SUGA was looking at him from the castle's window. Time skip to SUGA's room. Hyung, I need your help. SUGA, what kind of help? He frowns after hearing his little brother. Actually, I want to propose to N tomorrow, so please help me. I shows his puppy eyes to his older brother, which melts SUGA's heart, but the proposed thing left him stunned. SUGA, really, are you serious? Of course Hyung, I'm serious. SUGA, why don't you take her to her favorite place romantically? Hyung, this is a brilliant idea. N was peacefully sleeping when she heard a voice. Moon Empress was calling her. Moon Empress, come here my child. N. Listen to me. N frowns and wakes up from her sleep seeing Moon Empress here. She moves towards her. N. Moon Empress, you called me, what is it? She asks, surprised because Moon Empress came here personally to meet her. Moon Empress, N darling, do you love him by your heart? Is your love pure? N. Yes Moon Empress, I love him. I don't know why, but there is something that pulls me towards him. I know this is wrong, but now there is nothing I can do. Moon Empress, good, you told me the truth, but there is something that you need to know that can change everything. N got confused listening to Moon Empress. Moon Empress took N's hand in her hands. N saw some flashes closing her eyes. She saw a boy who was smiling looking at her while holding her hand, gently taking a stroll in a garden filled with black and white roses, her favorite flowers. Y. N opened her eyes and gasped, then asked Moon Empress. Y. N. Who is he? Moon Empress. He is your destined soulmate. At the moment he is not in his real appearance, for now he is SUGA. His real name is Jungkook. Y. N wakes up from her dream and takes a deep breath, calming herself down. She takes the glass of water from her side table and chugs it down in a one go. Her happiness was on cloud 9, but she was also guilty for BI. SUGA sends a dress through maid and asks the maid to tell her to get ready. Y. N gets shocked by sudden gift, but she starts jumping, feeling butterflies in her stomach. Y. N in mind. I can't believe Jungkook sent me there, smiling excitedly. I think he also loves me. She excitedly waits for SUGA to come while sitting on the couch. After some time she hears a knock on the door. Y. N. Come in, then door opens and SUGA enters. Both of them look at each other. SUGA feels his heart beating fast while looking at Y. N's ethereal beauty. He got lost in her while. Y. N gets a little perplexed while seeing SUGA in casual duty-free clothes. SUGA mentally face-palm himself. SUGA in mind. No SUGA, this is wrong. She is your soon-to-be sister-in-law. You can't think about her like that. He shooks his head to get rid of these thoughts and asks SUGA. Are you ready? Shall we go? Y. N. Yes, I'm ready. I was actually waiting for you. SUGA. Oh, can I blindfold you? He asks her politely. Y. N. Yeah, sure. SUGA blindfolds her and takes her to the place where BI was waiting for them. SUGA takes Y. N there and takes off her blindfold. When Y. N opens her eyes, she sees BI there, not SUGA. SUGA leaves both of them alone not to disturb them. B. I. Hey Y. N, how are you? Y. N. I'm fine. What is all this? BI. B. I. Actually Y. N, when I first time saw you at the festival I felt some kind of way and I wanted to be friends with you, but staying. You made me realize it was love. These feelings are new for me. I couldn't understand them, but now I know I love you and want to propose to you. B. I gets down on one knee and asks Y. N. BI. Y. N, will you be my girlfriend? Y. N stays quiet for some time, making it more hard for BI. Y. N. I'm sorry BI. I don't love you. I'm sorry if I gave you these kinds of signals, but I just like you as a friend. B. I. Oh, I'm sorry for taking it this way. Y. N. That's fine BI. If I already didn't have someone else in my heart, then I surely have accepted you BI. If you don't mind, can I know who do you like? Y. N. I love your older brother SUGA. B. I. Does he knows that you like him? Y. N. Ah. No, he doesn't know. B. I come to SUGA while crying. SUGA becomes confused. SUGA. What happened? Why are you crying? SUGA asks, being concerned. B. I. She loves someone else. She rejected me. SUGA. That's fine. It's not like you can force her to love you. It's her decision. She can choose the she wants. SUGA says this while consoling him, but listening to his words, BI looks at SUGA for some minutes and thinks BI in mind. I think Hyung also likes her. I should stop crying and try to bring them close. Thinking this, he starts giggling. SUGA looks at him weirdly. SUGA. I think the rejection disturbed him mentally. In this previous week, BI takes you out to watch movie, park etc. with SUGA to bring you too close. B. I was passing through the meeting room. Suddenly he hears his sister and younger brother talking. Minatazaki-sana. Ugh, you don't know how awful that portal is. Moon Hee-jun. You are saying like I haven't been there. Leave this conversation. Think what should we do now? Minatazaki-sana. I think we should use Y.N to get a grip on SUGA Oppa. Moon Hee-jun. Yeah, we should use her not to get a grip on him but to kill him. He is getting more powerful day by day. Moon Hee-jun. If we want to rule Demon Realm we have to kill, but it will not be easy to kill. Minatazaki-sana. Why don't we give him poison through Y.N? Nowadays they are getting close. Moon Hee-jun. Yeah, I didn't know you have Bray. They were talking when BI barges in and says BI. You guys are disgusting. Y.N was sleeping peacefully when she heard a breaking noise. She thought that someone was in the room, but she didn't knew that someone broke a vase while exiting a room. After some time she opens her eyes and gets up in a sitting position. Y.N. Was I dreaming or somebody did enter my room? She was breathing heavily to calm herself down. She drinks the water. The water tasted a little bitter, but she shrugged away because she thought that this is Inferno. The water would probably taste like this sometime. After 1 hour she slept feeling a little different. Question mark, question mark, question mark. 1. Finally, she slept. I thought she would not sleep. Question mark, question mark, question mark. 2. Shut up, let's take her, he is waiting for her. It was too easy, we didn't have to do anything, she took the drug herself. They put her inside a sack and exited the room. They had put her inside the bag because the drug they gave her was too strong and didn't have any antidote. They were slowly crossing the hallway. Suddenly Y.N opened her eyes and loudly says Y.N. Honey, where are you Jungkook? She snaps her fingers and the sack empties. Question mark. 1. Hey, where is she? The sack is empty. She was just here screaming and now is not here. 2. Shit, we are so dead, let's go and find her. They moved here and there to find her but couldn't. Y.N appears on Suga's bed and loses her consciousness. Suga comes out of his washroom wearing after a shower. He went towards the and sees Suga. Y.N, what are you doing here? Y.N slowly opens her eyes and shouts Y.N. Jungkook, honey, where were you? Suga, how do you know my other name? Y.N slowly came towards him and placed her hands on his shoulders, getting close to his neck. She inhaled his fragrance, which was addicting, or was it drug? Y.N. Jungkook, do you drink soda? Because you look so delicious. Suga becomes shocked seeing Y.N. He looks into her eyes and in under a minute he knows what happened to her. Suga quickly picks her in bridal style and moves to the washroom and fills water in the bathtub and placed her in the bathtub, thinking that would calm her down because she drug that is given to her is the strongest drug ever. The cold water only made it more worse. Her skin started burning even though he is master of medicine, but seeing her in pain, he isn't able to think anything. He takes her out of the bathtub and comes to the room and places her on the bed. Y.N is now out of control. She can't hold anymore. She gets up from the bed and moves towards Suga. She threw him on the bed and got on top him. Suga, what are you doing? Y.N. This is not right, get up. FR. Before he could complete his words, Y.N smashed her lips on his. His eyes shined in the most brightest and the pure gold color. This means they are soulmate. It is written in their books when a demon comes in intimate contact with his soulmate, his eyes shines in gold color. Suga doesn't know that she is his soulmate, but Y.N knows. He melts in the kiss and starts kissing her back. Suga breaks the kiss and looks at her, who is a mess right now. He changes their positions and come on top of her. Suga, FCK, you're turning me on. I know this is not right, but now there is no turning back. He removes the hair which were covering her face and places a kiss on top of her forehead. He moved his face close to her, breathing heavily. Y.N. Are you a raisin? Cause you a raisin, my hopes for about a kiss right now. Suga, am I? Then I should complete your request. He kisses her passionately, placing his hands on her waist, deepening the kiss. Think rest of it by yourself. Y.N wakes up from deep slumber and finds herself naked. Y.N. Is it a dream? I think it is. She pinches herself. Y.N. Ouch, shush. It's not a dream. OMYY God, I should run before he wakes up. This is embarrassing. She quickly runs away, quickly wearing her clothes. Suga opens his eyes when he felt his other side empty. Suga, where is she? Did she really left me alone? Suga smiles, thinking about her pickup lines and her blabbering. He then gets up from the bed and goes to get ready. For the next 2 days, Suga tries to talk to her, but she would make up something at any cost. She was too embarrassed to even look into his eyes. It was not like she was embarrassed because of him. She was embarrassed because of all the things she said to him while being drugged. He also knew why she is ignoring him, but he is not easygoing. He was laying on his bed thinking about Y.N. when a white forces comes and make him under his spell. He gets up, throw the bed and leaves the room, and walk towards the study where no one is allowed to go except him. Reaching there, the spell breaks and he sees someone he could least expect. Moon Empress was standing in front of him. He immediately respectfully greet her and ask her why she is here. Suga, greetings to your highness. What brought you here? Frowns Moon Empress. Chuckles lightly. Jungkook, I am here to let you know some things you should about your fairy soulmate. Suga, oh, what about that? Moon Empress, you have already met her and shared a deep connection with her. Have you recognized her yet? She asks him, smiling, because she knows his heart is already beating for her. Suga gets perplexed listening to this. He feels his heart feeling a pang, thinking that his mate is someone who is a fairy and Y.N is a human according to her information. Moon Empress smiles seeing him in dilemma and holds his hand, which brings him back to reality. Moon Empress, don't be sad, Jungkook. Well, I have a surprise for you, let me show it to you. Jungkook looks at her frowning. She raises her hand in the air and casts a spell which opens a screen portal, which shows him happily roaming with an ethereal beauty alongside him. She was Y.N. He gets shocked to his core, not believing his own eyes. Suddenly a wave of immense joy crosses him. SUGA. But how is this even possible? Why, N is not a fairy. Or is she? Moon Empress. She is the royal fairy princess Kang Y, N, your destined mate. She is here disguised as a normal human. SUGA. Is this the reason that I'm feeling more powerful and mightily strong? Because we made love. He asks her curiously, she pats his shoulder and nods her head in agreement. Then she suddenly disappears in the air, leaving SUGA there in his own world, thinking about his sweetheart and smiling like crazy. Suddenly he starts smirking. SUGA. Sweetheart, let's see for how long you're gonna ignore me. Y, N was sitting on the sofa looking outside the window, when White Sparkles appears with Queen Sohee. Queen Sohee. Hello my child, how are you? Seeing her mother she got and ran to hug her. Y, N. Mother, I missed you so much. How are you? How are all our people? Is everyone okay? She asks her, hugging her tightly. Queen Sohee. My child, everything is fine. I'm here for some important reason. They sits on the bed and Queen Sohee takes a deep breath before continuing. Queen Sohee. Dear, you know that Moon Empress made a demon your soulmate and you know who he is, right? Y, N nods hearing her. Queen Sohee. My dear, living with a demon is not easy. You are currently in Inferno, the most dangerous universe among all the universes, and your soulmate is soon to be the ruler of this universe. Y, N. I know, mother, why are you telling me all this? Queen Sohee. There is something that you are not aware of. When SUGA was born he was dead, there were no chances of life for him. Doctors declared him dead. Kai, the recent ruler and father of SUGA, lost their all hopes. He was standing in the balcony with SUGA in his hands crying his heart out when suddenly a ray of light hit SUGA's body and transferred a soul in his small body. He started crying, he was breathing. But do you know how was it possible? Queen Sohee. Moon Empress gave him life because you didn't have a soulmate and you would die without your soulmate. If the Moon Empress hadn't done this then you would have died on your 22nd birthday, and for the main thing. You have found your soulmate now, there is no point in keeping this engagement ring. I'm here to take it back and you are free from your mission. If you want you can stay here, and if you want you can come back to the fairy realm. Y, N. This is too much information, mother. I don't know what to say. Queen Sohee. Dear, I know you have many questions, but for now you just have to know only this much. Y, N. So now can I live with SUGA? Without anything to worry about? Queen Sohee. Danger is everywhere. Y, N. You just have to be careful. After saying this she bid her goodbyes and disappears in thin air. After an hour Y, N was sitting on her bed when the door knocks. Y, N. Who is it? Maid. Ma'am, please open the door, it's time for dinner, I'm here with your food, please come and get it. Y, N becomes confused as it's 10 o'clock, how is it dinner time? She goes to the door lazily and opens it. SUGA. Hey sweetheart. Before she could even react, he enters, closing the door behind and pinning her on the door while smirking swiftly. SUGA goes close to her neck and inhales her fragrance, which he missed. SUGA. Missed me, sweetie. Y, N. What are you doing here? You tricked me. SUGA. So what if I did you a mine? I can do anything to you. He dangerously come closer to her, his lips lingering on hers, and says, SUGA. Don't I look so delicious right now, or am I now raising your hopes for a kiss? Y, N clears her throat and says, being embarrassed. Y, N. WYWOU look delicious AUF food. SUGA. Interesting, but you do look delicious and I wanna devour you, should I? He says, placing his one hand on her waist and holding both her wrists above her head. Y, N. WH_R. Before she could complete her sentence he presses his lips to seal her mouth, to which she immediately replies, it would be a lie if she didn't miss his 2H. Swiftly moving his lips on her he inserts his tongue in her mouth and devours every corner of her mouth roughly. He then moves towards her neck, slowly going down to her sweet spot, sucking the heck out it. He then picks her up in bridal style and throws her on her bed. Gets on top of her and continues to kiss her. Y, N placed both her hands on his neck and deepens the kiss. They both moves away to breath. Y, N. So you know I'm your soulmate. SUGA. Of course, why would I make love with any girl, knowing that I have a soulmate? Y, N remembers how she ran away and prays that that topic stays untouched. SUGA. By the way, sweetheart, you're not as innocent as you look, and I must say you have the guts to run away after using me. Don't you know the consequences? Y, N. Who told I used you? I was drugged. Okay, I am innocent. I was innocent and I will be innocent in TBE future. I'm not someone who would use anyone for benefits. I love you, okay? SUGA. This is what I wanted to hear. I love you too, sweetheart, and now you deserve a punishment. Be ready for it. Then he starts by kissing her forehead lovingly and then her both eyes, then her both cheeks. while Y.N just closed her eyes, feeling the euphoric feelings of love which was being radiated through his sweet kisses and gestures. Then he looked at her face, which was looking so ethereal under him. Not feeling him, she opened her eyes and looked directly in his eyes, who was simply looking at her with love and his eyes shining bright golden. She gasps and says, Y.N, honey. SUGA, yes, my sweetheart. She was still looking at his eyes, and even after trying hard, she just couldn't look away from his eyes. They were appealing and hypnotic. Till now she thought that she was the one who could hypnotize anyone but her man. Damn. He is on another level. She continues. Y.N. Your eyes are, SUGA, shining golden. Smirks, he cuts her off and continued her sentence, to which she nods her head positively. He pecks her lips before saying, SUGA, they are like this because of you. It's written in the demon's book that demons' eyes shine in color when they are intimately close to their soulmates. Again pecks her lips. Y.N. Wow, interesting, huh? Are there more colors? Excitedly SUGA chuckles, seeing her excitement, and says while again pecking her lips, making her giggling. SUGA, there are 3 stages of soulmate love. The least one is purple, which indicates love at first sight, magic and enchanting love emotions, just like a gravitational pull. SUGA, then comes the color of my eyes, golden, which means welcoming back your mate, platonic love, jealousy, infidelity, remembering one, friendship, and lastly care for your soulmate. Hearing this, something clicks in Y.N mind. Y.N. Jungkook, when I saw those glimpses of us when Moon Empress met me in my dream. I now remembered I saw your eyes shining in purple when you kissed my knuckles. SUGA, that was our life before being born. As you know, everyone is born in a pair, but not every pair is soulmate. That was their first meet and their love at first sight. SUGA, last but not least, in fact the most beautiful, strongest and peaceful love bond is the one with red shining eyes. Red indicates well done, I love you, most importantly the PASSION, courage, beauty, desire, protection, and lastly respect, which completes every aspect of the bond shared between the soulmates. Y.N. Cute. I wish we also share this top bond one day. She says, lovingly looking at his golden orbs, and wraps her arms around his neck, pulling him in a deep kiss. I love you, honey, sweetheart. Both whisper while kissing passionately. After a minute, SUGA pulls back and continues kissing her jawline, neck, and collarbone, and rest you can imagine yourself. Morning sun rays fall on the beautiful couple, who is sleeping peacefully, hugging each other, after a long passionate night. SUGA opens his eyes and looks at his love sleeping, hugging his bare chest. She looked so cute with her lips pouted. He felt the urge to kiss her but tried to control himself, because he knows she has tried. After all, he didn't let her sleep till dawn. Suddenly SUGA feels himself charging up. He literally felt more strong even now. Now he guessed because of her. Being a fairy, her powers are boosting his strength level. He closed his eyes and calm himself, then again open them and stare at her face lovingly. He moved the strand of her hair from her face which were blocking his view. After some time she moves and snuggle more into his warm embrace, and he kiss her head smiling and closes his eyes sleeping more, as he knows his sweetie ain't leaving him. So he silently sleeps more, hugging her tightly. This time Y.N wakes up and looks at her man, who was sleeping peacefully. She looks at the time and gasps. Y.N. SUGA, wake up, it's afternoon, come on. She softly shakes him. SUGA, let me sleep more. He says, and then again sleeps, but an idea comes in Y.N's mind and she smirks. She goes close to his ear and seductively whispers. Y.N. Come on honey, wake up, let's save water by showering together. Without saying anything, SUGA gets up and throws her on his shoulder, then goes inside the bathroom. Y.N. I was just joking, I'm already sore from the night. SUGA, well, you should have thought before teasing me. He says with a smirk plastered on his face. SUGA and Y.N are strolling in the garden, while the 3 persons are planning something evil. Minatazaki-sana, what should we do now? Our previous plan got miserably fail. We have to be more careful now. Question mark, colon. You two are really good for nothing. You couldn't even do one simple task properly, speaks angrily and creepily. Hearing this, Sana and Hee-Jun flinch and scared. Moon Hee-Jun, we don't know how be, but she just as suddenly disappeared from the sack. Trembling hearing this, chuckles darkly, and says, fools, she is a damn fairy. How can you be so dumb? Both become shocked upon hearing this. Minatazaki-sana, so what should we do now? Biopa. We will poison SUGA through his beloved brother, that is me. I hate him. Because of him my Y.N is not with me. He says while looking at him, strolling in the garden, talking and laughing. Moon Hee-Jun, okay as you say Hyung, this time we won't let you down. SUGA and YN were talking with each other while cuddling each other on the sofa. YN. Honey, when will I be able to see your real face? SUGA. Why am I not handsome now? Teasing YN. Indeed you are. But your real face is really something unreal. I still have that sharply memorized in my memory. She says while playing with his hands' fingers. SUGA smiles hearing her and says, SUGA, close your eyes. I will show you something. Smirks.
She simply obeys him and closes her eyes smiling. SUGA casts some spell and his body transforms. Jungkook, sweetheart. Smirking hearing this YN opens her eyes immediately. Her eyes widened and jaw dropped. She gasps and tries to say, YN, WW what? WWHY, how? Jungkook, missed me? YN, yes says and hugs him tightly.
Suddenly white smoke starts coming from his body and in a blink he transforms back to his real self. YN pulls back from the hug and sees him in his real form. YN, how could you do this? SUGA, I can change in anyone if I know his face. This was my own face so I could change. But as it is not living one so I can only change for a few minutes and then again transform back to my real self. YN, oh okay. Pecks his cheeks.
YN feels like puking. She hurriedly gets up and runs towards the bathroom. Confused SUGA also runs behind her worriedly. She starts puking in the sink. While seeing this, SUGA holds her hair back and pats her back. After done puking, she cleans her mouth and face. SUGA picks her bridal style and goes to the bed.
He gently puts her on his bed and starts checking her forehead and neck to check fever and then hold her wrist to check her pulse. For a few minutes his face is straight. Seeing his straight face she gets confused and asks, YN, what happened? Why are you looking like that? Suddenly SUGA pulls her up and kisses her passionately while smiling in the kiss. At first she gets confused but still kisses him back. After some time he pulls back, both of them gasping. YN, what happened?
SUGA. Nothing, just you were pregnant. Says casually, smirking while shrugging his shoulders. YN. Oh, that okay. After some time she realizes what he said. Her eyes widened. YN. What? SUGA laughs at her shocked face and says lovingly.
YN got up and hugged him tightly, tears forming in her eyes. YN. Finally, we are going to be parents. I'm so happy. It feels like my purpose of life is going to complete now. SUGA also gets emotional hearing her. SUGA. I am going to send this news to father and also to plan our wedding soon. We will be together. When they found about YN's pregnancy, SUGA immediately sent a letter to his father regarding her pregnancy and wedding. One day later he received letter from his father saying they can hold wedding a week later and he will reach home till then. So they have been busy in preparations of wedding. Now SUGA was sitting on the sofa to rest for some time when BI enters the room and goes to SUGA to talk to him. BI, hello Hyung, what are you doing? Are you free? SUGA opens his eyes and see BI standing in front of him. SUGA, ah yes, I am free. I was just resting. I was actually tired from all the preparations. Hearing this, BI blood boiled but he showed no hint of anger on his face. BI, can I give you something Hyung? SUGA, sure thing. I took out a ring out of his pocket and gave it to SUGA. I keep this ring with you all the time, also during the wedding. Father sended this ring and asked me to give it to you and to tell you keep it with you all the time. SUGA, but father didn't told me anything about a ring or something like this. I, you were busy to father asked me. SUGA, oh, okay if you say.
Without a second thought, SUGA wear the ring in this forefinger and goes to finish his work. Oh dear Hyung. You are becoming a fool in love. I didn't thought it would be so easy to trick you, tut tut. I says to himself with a wide smirk plastered on his face.
Today is the day where two souls will become one and will become the most powerful couple of this time. SUGA took YN's hand in his hand and walked down the stairs with a straight face. His expression are like this since BI gave him that ring. They walked towards the stage where a priest was standing. They reached and stood in front of each other. YN. SUGA, I was waiting for this moment from the past few days eagerly. SUGA. I was also waiting for this moment. SUGA bring his hand in front and closes his eyes. A dagger appears in his hand. YN. What is this, SUGA? SUGA. This is the end. He stabbed YN with the dagger with poison. YN gasps loudly and falls down on the stage while clutching the place where he stabbed. YN. Why? Why did you do this to me? What had I done to you? I loved you with all my heart and yet you betrayed me. Not only betrayed me, also want to kill my child. YN burst out crying out loud, and that when the spell on SUGA breaks and he looks down only to see YN closing her eyes. SUGA. No. What have I done? He falls beside and took her lifeless body in his arm and cry loudly. Seeing him like this, his siblings laugh out loud and goes to party, not knowing someone already saw what they have done. The ring given by BI breaks and slowly SUGA's body starts turning blue. The fire in him starts to cool down. He picks up the same dagger to kill himself but before he could kill himself, the ring finished her job. Sana and Jun was already gone. BI was left behind. Before going he says, BI, there was a king, there was a queen, both died. End of the story. Smirks, then he leaves. Both of them were laying there dead. Suddenly the person who was Kai, their father, who returned after SUGA stabbed YN, quickly hid himself. He saw the real faces of his children and lost his most precious son whom he loved more than himself. He had the sacred pendant. He took the pendant towards YN and placed it on her belly. A bright white light was seen for a moment or more, then it disappeared. Kai also left from there to live in the human realm.